trying to ban, they trying to get your attention with that shit.
I peeped that too. Yeah, I was trying to figure that shit out myself.
Look, if they think that if you go, because you got a person that be trying to avoid those woke niggas, those campus niggas, or those Muslim niggas. You got people that actively avoid those niggas that's always talking that knowledge shit. So, in order to get one of them motherfuckers to pay attention to one of them niggas that's talking that knowledge shit, when they bring up Sabi, right? And they got enough Nipsey Hussle in them to know who Dr. Sabi is and that he advocated CMOS, right? So now he was ducking all of the knowledge motherfuckers, but now they finna ban CMOS. Then he go, that's how you crack through the conscience of a motherfucking hardhead.
Right.
It's all
it's so hypocritical. You talking about we niggas is dumb, like we acting like, oh, our ancestors this, our ancestors that. You let them break the treaties. They breaking treaties right now with the freedom of speech. The freedom of speech.
You ain't looking at it.
No, I get it. But on the God status, they got Kyrie pent up in the corner for his speech. So on some, we want bans because you said something. What happened to freedom of speech? What happened to these articles that we know they don't exist? But why now, as gods, why are we penetrating, like, where's the comeback of the beautiful? Kyrie, you don't got nobody smart enough around you to be like, we're suing you for going against our freedom of speech? Or does that go back to the contract thing? The thing when you sign contracts?
I think I understand. Just to see that people got to get exposed. It is what it is. They got to be drug. I mean, it just kind of, it is what it is. Like, that's why I think I'm moved, and meaning I'm supporting, but I'm not moved because I understand this. Part of the clip season is it's exposing people too. Like, that's part of what eclipses do. It opens up, it exposes, like, not just in the Kyrie, but also in people's individual lives. So you have to look at things are like, stuff is going to come out in people's individual lives, in the spirit realm, in political realms, and finance. Like, shit is just in the open. Like, you lay that shit out on the table.
Why they never took Mardi Gras from New Orleans?
Because we just tear that bitch up.
You can't.
Right, because it's something in the people that if you take that away from them, it causes them to react like a person detoxing from a drug. They rebel because they can't. They used to having an open ancestral channel,
right?
And now motherfuckers trying to close that shit. Okay, look at it. Listen, look at it with the guideline. You not finna stop a motherfucker from New Orleans from having Mardi Gras. So what do? You make that motherfucker to a big deal every time they have it.
Right.
Right? So they know that it's still there, but it's only a big deal in New Orleans and you everywhere else.
Oh, you try to temper the energy and make it seem like it's commercialized or trying to minimize it. Yeah.
Right. Try to make it seem like it's some evil demonic shit that they only do in New Orleans.
Right.
A thousand pardons. Just say we just did the Google just a 21 with the OG Tahir, with the OG, the goddess herself, Sunni Patterson. When I tell you, fuck all the bullshit, come out there for yourself and see the shit. When I tell you, we weren't just stomping to be seen. We stomping was the white people neighborhoods, the Irish neighborhoods, the Jew neighborhoods, and we were stomping out that bitch. Skinheads was out there. I wasn't trying to do all that with the cameras. I'm trying to show the beauty of it, but it was skinheads out there, bitch. Like New Orleans, they bought it, but we were stomping on that shit saying, and we were reminding them, yeah, we remember we killed y'all one time. It literally, that ceremony was saying, we killed y'all and we slaughtered y'all right here. We remember, and let's dance about it, and let's talk about it, and let's play about it. We had the demon out there with us.
Yeah, I
thought demon, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's on some other shit. Like, we still stomping on motherfuckers. It's just motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to interject that part, but it's bigger than just, it's being seen. No, it was a whole ritual. We were stomping on their shit. We were stomping on their grave. We were laughing. We went to the slave quarters in New Orleans and went down there and said, yeah, we bringing our ancestors with us. You know what I'm saying?
People on New Orleans energy. People don't overstand because, I'm Louisiana folk Creole. Like, that's what my people say. People sleep on the energy and power that's still to this day that's sitting in New Orleans. Like, they don't sleep on them because them people still down there do what they got to do. And they'll do it with a smile. Like, I'm talking about all the time, every day in and day out. They got as much going on. I was there to say as IAT. Like, it's for to me an American portal. New Orleans kept it going. It's a reason they try to give a bad reputation and say, well, don't mess with that Louisiana girl. Don't mess with that.
I ain't even gonna put that out there no more. That's just for the dumb ones. They said bad reputation, but that's for people that just don't know shit.
I don't care. I don't care. But I'm saying the reason why, just like how they talk about IAT, They talk about Louisiana, in particular, the New Orleans or the Baton Rouge point, but the New Orleans, because it's an energy down there and it's a power down there. And to this day, like I'm telling you what I know. Yeah, I'll just say that, and they have kept it going. And to me, it's a reason that I feel like that they have used to put those hurricanes and was constantly attacking them, just like they was attacking I-80 with hurricanes and earthquakes, because they were attacking the people because it's energy and they could feel that energy and those ceremonies that was coming from that portal. Them people be always putting in work. They ain't never stopped, never.
So
not in New Orleans. Yeah.
A good thing to explain is like where we at right now, energetically. And people understand this is, okay, so you got to understand we in a transitional time from going from the lunar moon cycle into the solar sun cycle. That's the natural transitional phase on the 3,600 year elliptical orbit. 2,400 years of that, and some change is how often we change the age.
Right. We're in a changing of an age right now.
Okay, so we going from the Piscean age into the Aquarian age. The Piscean age, the motto that goes with the Piscean age is I believe.
And we're going to knowing. Yeah, from believer to knowing.
Right. And the one for Aquarius is I know. Right? I can prove this shit here. Okay, now the people that used to believed in it long enough for it to be in the collective unconscious so it can be downloaded and utilized for the advantage of the people. All of their beliefs becomes our responsibility to manifest. So we don't have to believe that shit.
Right.
They did that for us.
Right.
Right? So the Phoenix, goes down in its own ashes. Because we burnt yesterday the fuck down.
Over.
And that's why the sun had to come up for us to have a new day from the ashes.
And this is and the eclipse energy is a 6-month cycle. So that cycle, and it's interesting you said Pisceanic, because their Saturn, meaning their harmonic return, ending their Saturn energy, all that dark energy, is at March 23rd, 2023. So that's what I'm saying. They're closing out completely, not only their cycle, but also them having to receive their karmic debts for everything they've done, all that blood sacrificing, all that murdering, lying, taking money, taking people's indigenous land, stealing of the planet. That's another reason they're nervous and trying to do the stuff, because a lot of what they're doing is trying to, they think, tamper their own karmic return galactically and astrologically that's coming on them, starting, the first one is March 7th, but then March 2023, which it sits in for 19 of their years, and they're the one who created this fake time construct. So yeah, and we'll be sitting in our return of taking back our land and rebalancing the energies and stuff. So yeah, it's a cleanup.
Since you mentioned for the last year, we've been in the birth chart or the natal chart for the United States. It's been in the Pluto retrograde.
Well, no, they're getting ready to start it. It hasn't started yet. They're going to be in a Pluto retrograde starting March 7, 2023. So, but they've been in there. We've been in our Saturn and Aquarian, meaning us as a collective have been in our Aquarian energy. But America and kind of the Great Britain is getting ready to start their shit officially in March. But it's kind of getting what I call on the runway, like with the plane on the runway and start up. That's what these eclipses have been doing, is letting them know what's coming. Because this energy that we're going through now, which is why they closing the feds and having all this, the tribunal stuff that you talked about, the inky, this is just a runway. This shit ain't even hit yet. That's why they nervous, because it haven't even really started. This is just a runway. The plane ain't even in the air yet.
Sure. Okay. So when we going into the Pluto retrograde, ain't that like, here's all of your shit back?
Yeah, that's what they call that the Pluto return. So their Pluto Aquarian return, which is this place that they sit in when they officially stole the land in that 1776, it's all your shit back. And that's officially for them. That date for that one is March 7th, 2023. And then there's Saturn return in Pisces, because they decided to live under this Pisceanic monetary in particular system and even political system. That's why I said political system is done. So they're getting both of their shit at the same time. And the thing with the Pluto one, that's not something that comes like every 3 months, whatever. It's a once every 200, I want to say 50 or 60 something years. So this is their complete, and it sits for for a long time, like 19 years. So, and that the second one is March 23rd. So they're literally getting them all at the same time.
So that's what these sigils say in the layout of DC.
Mm.
That's what the translation is. What you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Because it says it's a triple overlay.
Yep.
Financial, political, and really it's legal, but it translates as governmental.
Yep.
But it's legal. It's the law is being returned back to its proper position, which is the great law.
Yep.
Right.
We're going to have a lot of deaths, finances, and of course, return of the land. So all that stuff has got to reset, basically.
Mm-hmm. So the ancient code of kings and the rights to the earth right both is in agreement that once the original system is restored, balance returned back to the air, the land, the air, and the water.
Yes,
and that's the exercise of the great law.
Yes.
So if this was to be facilitated by making people close out the conjures, now it would make sense. Because any great conjure that's open causes a delay in the ability for the system to turn over.
Right, that's why it has to be closed out. Like I even had the discussion, it has to be closed out prior to March 7, 2023. Like all the conjures have to be closed. That's like the final day, period. Because if it's open, then we don't need it open. Yeah.
So somebody said, what's the significance of May is Mary, minus the R. Right? Mary is the rebellious woman, the mother of the sun. So that's Isis energy as the protective mother, born in March. Right? And March is Pisces, Aries, right? Pisces.
They'll be on the Pisceonic. Well, interestingly enough, one hits under Pisces and one hits in the conjunctive Pisces Aries, but it's a Pisceonic energy though.
And Aries come in and also in May, right?
In March.
I mean, in March.
March, April.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it comes in March 22nd to 23rd. So it's so when their Saturn return hits, it's technically going to hit ironically under Aries, which is under the bookman.
and that's the fire and war.
Yeah.
And Aries is the god of war.
Yes, and he's ruled by Mars, which is the god of war, which is now sitting in Gemini doing its thing because it's collecting energy right now.
Okay, so we slowed it down now. I think we got it to a pace where we could.
I'm over here reading the messages. I'm reading the messages. It's beautiful. Like I be putting on from Mississippi and Florida, and the Mississippi, Florida, Louisiana connection, and they are showing so much love to Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? The night before moon, man, send some power down so we can stop down on it. You know what's out here? Y'all know what we're fighting up against down here. Send some manifestation of like help me them destroy this shit down here. Like anyway, but you want to speak on the Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi connection?
Well, we used to walk the trees from Louisiana all the way to Florida. They chopped them all down.
Even through Arkansas, actually, too.
Yeah, well, they chopped down the trees off. They gutted the East Coast for their trees. Yeah. Right? Most of this land was forested because we chose to have it forested for a reason. When they came in, they wanted to be able to see us riding on the backs of the alligators in the Everglades. They couldn't see us because it was the thicket was too thick. And then when we pop up on their ass, we right there in their face. Now, the modern reference is the purpose of Agent Orange in the Vietnam War is the same purpose they were setting forest fires over here. We used to be so in tune with the gators, they had to use our children as food for alligators in order to get them to develop a taste for our
Facts.
And that's why you notice a lot of slave revolts had meetings in swamps, whether it was Florida, IAT, or whatever, because we was very in tune and always have been in tune in our
Man, I'm not at home right now, but both of y'all seen some of the artifacts I have, and all the artifacts are books for us, and all of them show literally our ancestors, the women riding the crocodiles away from their enemies or sending the crocodiles to the ancient dragon. I'm from Panama. My grandfather's from Panama, and then my other side of my family is from Benin. Both sides don't know each other per se, but except for if they're saying it's a slave trade, but I'm thinking it's going back to Mental Bakari II, where it was 3,000 ships that came from over there. So they try to make it seem like it's all slavery, but we came over here on business as well.
Look, we've been trading and marrying with people from Africa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's hard to explain it, but most people don't be on. You know what I'm saying?
In the islands, in the South Americas, and Southern America, we was marrying people from Africa the whole goddamn time.
Right.
On the West Coast, we was marrying Polynesians, Asians, motherfucking Filipinos.
Yes.
We would going across the water. They, bring wives to trade from the royal families to make family treaties and shit through marriage. Right. So when we realize that, we understand that the whole slave narrative, that's why it falls apart. Because the prehistoric bloodlines have all of this testimony that overrides what any of their books say.
Right.
So we know that when we was iron workers on the railroads in the Southwest, that we was working next to the motherfuckers that they kidnapped in China.
Yep.
But we don't want to talk about the Chinese slave trade in the Americas. But we was working right next to them.
Yeah.
They thought we were some phenomenal working motherfuckers. Listen to the song Big John. Listen to the song John Henry. He was a big old man. They go to describing him.
John Henry was hammering on that mountain. They said he was 10 feet tall in that song. You remember that from the nursery rhyme? I remember that in elementary school. Because they said John Henry was hammering on that mountain. He was either, they said 8 feet tall or 10 feet tall. I remember that. They say he hammered so hard that he broke his heart. But yeah, I remember that song. That's when they was cutting down our crystal trees, our big ass trees and stuff.
Oh, OG, 1 second though. Someone said a question or made a statement, and I do want to address that. They said there was never no slave ships found. There's no ships over here found for anything. There's no ships over here for white people either. We got to get out that narrative of I guess everybody wants to be free. I'm addressing that real quick because people were saying that, and we're disrespecting the ancestors. Shit happened. A lot of shit happened, and we can't discredit one for the other. I think that's where we get it like over this or that, and we try to force it. But the slave trade did happen. Niggas were getting traded all around the South Americas and America. That shit happened, but there was still niggas over here too. It's not one or the other. But people be like, well, there's no slave ships. Where are the Europeans? You don't see their ships either. You don't see the great ship Jesus.
You look up Ellis Island. They be coming up. Look, we got the ships, but we don't have the sardine pack slave ships they talk about. That's just an overlay for Notre Dame University because the plot was a collegiate educational plot. It was developed in the educational boardrooms of Rome. Right? It just so happened that Notre Dame is in France. And France is where Paris is, and Paris is the city of Isis. France means Frank. Right? So if France means Frank, and Frank is a male name for Francis in the English, Francis being the Latin. So now it's telling you a group of people, the Franks, that be able to do what's necessary to offer the proper aid and assistance to your child. But one of the things is if you have a boy or girl that they say is hyperactive, the girls we developed in Atlanta is something called gymnastics. That's for girls with high Shakti energy. They diagnosing those girls now with ADD, ADHD, bipolar disorder. They just not teaching them how to harness that energy. So we gave them gymnastics. The more rebellious but more highly feminine types was given figure skating, and they was given different what's that synchronized swimming, because they're controlling the less hostile rebellious energy. But gymnastics is more aggressive. Some of the females, if they lift a little bit of weights, it'll help them tune down that high energy output, and then they become more. If you look at Dominique Dawes now, beautiful woman. If she wouldn't have went through the gymnastics training that she did, she would be a problem. She would be a problem. She would be one of them sisters that the system has to mount an army against. But she was able to temper that energy. That high Shakti energy, that's them warrior women. And we had exercises, like roller skating is a variant of figure skating. Right? The girls used to skate and the guys used to skateboard. It was just a harnessing of the energy. For the boys, shit, take them outside, let them motherfuckers run till they wear down. Then you try to teach them something. And don't be scared to give them the CBD oils that doesn't have THC in it, because it relaxes the central nervous system.
Right.
So that's a very, very important thing. Then you got teas you can give them to help inner peace, like skullcap tea. Another one I think is called Jonathan Winters tea. What's the other one? It's a couple of different teas but it calms the central nervous system, and then now they can focus. See, they rather give them a pharmaceutical that's going to give them permanent damage, so it's harder to correct them later. You don't need that. It's herbs. It's herbs for all of this. Right now, I'm a little rusty on my herbology, but I used to know this off the top of my head 5-10 years ago. I used to run it all down because I gave the same stuff to people I used to work with. They come in to work, all this wrong about their child, and then I talk to them, I'm like, well, just try this. And they come back and be like, I don't know where you got that remedy from. Yeah, but they work, right? So it's different stuff depending on the child.
Absolutely. And in our tradition, it was very common for us to give our children herbs. And Caribbean people would drink tea. Actually, I have mine right here. Depending on what's going on. So, soursop is a great one. We have it on our website, but you can get it. The organic soursop is really good for calming the central nervous system. It's great for sleep and relaxation.